Hey y'all, come join Jean and me today as we walk around the farm and talk about all of our goals for 2022, what we're hoping to get accomplished this year. We got a lot of things on the list for 2022 to do and get done, but our main goal for 2022 is to
for our son to have a grandbaby.
Well, farm goal is to complete some projects. We've got a lot of things around here that's just like not quite complete, and we want to complete some projects and master some more skills and just get some things completed.
In the focus of 22, we've kind of had a come to Jesus meeting on things on the farm because her head is, like wanting to do all this. And I'm like, our age keeps going like this and time's going like this. So trying to help her understand, we want to be able to enjoy this journey, and we are, but also we're looking to where there's a fine balance of, are we going to be able to maintain all this, and is the design permaculture wise, I can't say that like God can't say protege, permaculture, but we want to make sure that this is a per se easy setup for us, because we don't want to have tasks that are just totally cumbersome
and that we can't do in our 60s and 70s.
Right.
We want to try to get it more maintainable.
We've been here, I guess, 5 years now trying to develop this farm, and we love it. Wouldn't have it any other way, but Chase is here also helping us, doing a lot for us. And, during the week, I have a full-time job. I'm in the steam and condensate industry, and God's blessed me with an amazing job. Love it. I travel around the South a good bit. I'm just not here as much during the day as I'd like to be, helping out Tracy on the farm with some of the more heavier duty chores and things and projects we're wanting to do. But we're very thankful that God's blessed me with this job, because it enabled, Tracy to do what she's doing now with the farm. And we've got our goals our main goal is to get our land paid off. And we've got less than 2 years, we'll have our land paid off. We've got 18 acres here, and once we get that paid off, we're going to start doubling up on the mortgage. And our goal is to be debt free, and in that way I can retire. I'd love to retire early and refire, because with me and Tracy, like, all of my friends are like, "What'd you do this weekend, Gene?" I'm like, "Well, usual stuff on the farm, cleaning out the goat pens,
built this, built that, planted a garden, and built a fence."
You know, we love it. You know, a lot of our friends that go to football games or go to this and to that, and I'm like, well, that's great, but you know, I have a lot of fun. We take our anniversaries and go out here, and you know, I tell her all the time, this is like a state park from heaven, because it's like we got the water, we got eagles, we got. I mean, it's just beautiful, and I'm not bragging. I thank God for it, but we just love it out here. We love to work. We love to work together. I love seeing her in a tank top, shorts. Oh my God. Yes. But I love working in the dirt. We have a great time, and you know, I thank God for it, because He made us to get along with each other. We kind of balance each other out. She's too serious, and I'm more crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it works.
It works.
And we've got a lot of plans, and we're looking forward to, you know, this next year and getting things paid off.
But because we're like on a pretty tight budget, because we're trying to pay off our land and get out of debt. That's like our goal. That's our number one priority. So building Gene and I are in our 50s, and we've got a lot of dreams and visions for this farm, and we got to get it done while we can still get it done.
Heck, we've done a lot in 5 years.
We've done a lot in 5 years. But we don't have like a big farm project budget. We have
had a lot of friends that basically donate to us, and you know, a lot of times, you know, it's like the Bible scripture says, you have not because you ask not. A lot of times you just mention something, hey, I'm trying to do this, and next thing you know, I had some friends of mine, Tracy and I, that we were telling them just about doing our pasture. They said, hey, we've got 2 gates. If you want them, you can come get them. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the nice farm gates. And when we were wanting to do honeybees, Tracy won our first double set of hives. And then a friend of ours gave her some bees to start. It's like
God just always provides.
Yes.
Every time we want to start doing a project, or it's our next project we're trying to start working on, God just provides. It's like He either sends the provision in money form, or He sends the provision by blessing us with the materials.
That's right.
So a lot of our stuff is built and done from reused, recycled, repurposed stuff, which I love all that. I love that. But
I mean, I can just like we were just talking about Missy with the goats. My cousin gave us a bunch of the old windows. We built that garden shed out of, used a lot of it on that, and
we built the chicken run out of a dog kennel he gave us.
My mom gave us these steel gates for the potager,
for the entrance to the potager. So it's just, we've just really been blessed. God just always blesses us with exactly what we need to do what we need to do, and we have to just kind of work on things as finances and materials allow, and as time allows, because He works. It's more than a 40-hour job. It's more like a 60, 70-hour job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. So He's like a weekend warrior. So we try to just do what we can do when we can do it.
Yep.
We want everything done yesterday. I want all these projects done yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm the type of person that when we get something in our head, I cannot let something sit still. I have to complete it. I can't just go off and la-di-da on a day when I know something's not finished and I have to finish it.
Yeah.
And I'm a driven taskmaster, and I'm the one tasking myself.
A little help from me.
Yeah, she gives. I'm not even done with a project yet, and she's telling me, hey, I'm over here sweating, digging holes with a post hole digger, and she's telling me, Gene, I'd like to do this. I'm like, would you please be quiet until I get done with this?
Hey, I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary.
Yeah, but I can't even relish the fact I've completed something in you.
But you're making all my dreams come true.
Oh, Lord. Well, champ, we got to have a meeting. Our main goal this year, we're really trying to focus on, is we've got so many projects that we've been working on, here or there that's not completed.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get things done and level up on things and master some things.
We want pigs, we want a cow, we
Rabbits,
want a donkey, I want my rabbits
quail.
back again. So many things we want, but before we go to getting into pigs, we're gonna try to level up our goats and master them a little bit, right?
Right, we've got issues like right here. It gets so, when it rains a lot, it gets so wet and the goats keep their hooves in it. You know, I've got to get gravel in here. It helps with their hooves, and got to get just different things in here, you know, created better so the system works great. They're in here fighting.
We're gonna get with some of our friends who have goats and do them well and learn more about the whole breeding process and the kidding.
Taking care of them, just maintenance. We do we trim the hooves, we do the shots, immunization, that kind of thing, but
We do the best we can, but we just need to increase our knowledge on
yeah,
them.
yeah, and like holding them down when you give injections to them. Some of them are kind of rambunctious, and
That's something else. We want to build like a milking station that you can
right.
put their head in and hold them still so that we can do this without us trying to manhandle these big, well, thank God they're not big goats, but, and the milking. I want to learn about milking the goats and like that whole process. And
Woo. Also over here, you know, this is something we found out from the greenhouse that we've got to redo with the new plastic is if y'all use zip ties do not last. The UV and the sun, it burns and dry rots zip ties. So look down here where we've got the wire on. This is one of our outdoor gates that we have, and if you'll look right here, here's one that's already dry rotted, and I just put this zip tie on last year. It's already coming off. It's just as brittle can be, and I've got to get some wire and put on that so that it'll last.
so just a bunch of repairs and like sprucing things up a little bit out here.
That's right. Yeah, one thing we mentioned was we're thinking about, we really need a guard dog, a good guard dog for the farm. We've got a lab, Champ, but he is just, he's so rambunctious. We have to keep him up if we're not outside and keep our eyes on him a lot, because he is just, he goes over the neighbors, he chases chickens. Yeah, he's a chicken killer. But he was bred for duck hunting, so I mean it's in his genes to do that. But we really need a authentic farm dog. I know we've read a lot about the Great Pyrenees, and I know down the south they don't like the heat as much. But there's other dogs I know you can get. But I really would like to get a Great Pyrenees. We need one badly. I came out one morning out of the house going to work, and there was a coyote standing just right here 5 feet from me on the other side of this barn, and luckily the goats were in the barn, but as soon as I ran in the house to get my rifle, it was gone, and it ran across our pasture here. But we have a lot of coyotes, wild hogs out here, a lot of predators, so we definitely need one. I know when we were over at Cog Hill, they've got a Great Pyrenees, and there would be a buzzard flying across the air and going across their pasture, and that dog would chase that, watch it and chase it all the way till it left their property. Just a bird in the air. So we've got to get something like that, because our chickens and animals are too valuable.
Yep.
So it's coming one of these days.
We're on the hunt for one that don't cost a ton of money. They seem to cost a ton of money, so
Yep.
we're on the lookout for a good new guard dog edition.
Yep.
But as far as the goats, we want to increase our herd too on the goats and get another male, because Chester right now is our only little buck. Arrow and Bo over here are weathered, so they can't make us.
And Misty, if you're out there listening, we really love Bo and Arrow.
Yes,
they
we
are.
Do.
They are my babies. He is.
Yeah.
He is something else. He's such a bully. You know, and Arrow just sits around like, what are you talking about? You know, he's like in another land, but we love those goats, and
we do.
And appreciate you getting us started in that goat journey.
So Jean's talking about, for you guys that don't know, Jean's talking about Missy, and she is one of our followers that's been with us like from the beginning.
In Tennessee.
Yeah, and one day she just, this is before we got goats, and she knew we really wanted
her and her daughters.
Goats. Yeah, her and her daughters. And she knew that we wanted to get started in goats, and she had 2 dwarf Nigerian goats that were weathered, which means they're fixed or they can't make babies. And she needed to get rid of them and find them a new home. So she said she would love for us to have them. So Jean got busy on building a pen in his shelter. And we went and got them. And we've been friends with Missy ever since. So we love you, Missy. Thank you so much. But Chester's our only little stud. And he's a little drawer.
He ain't the only stud.
Yeah. He's our little drawer. So we're going to increase our goat herd. We're going to increase our goat herd a little bit too.
Yep.
Because our goal for the goats is to breed them and sell baby goats.
And eventually start milking.
Yeah. I'd like to learn how to make the soap and different products with it, but down the road. Right now, I just want to learn how to take better care of them.
Hey, stop fighting. So that's one thing we're going to do this year. Is we're going to put a milking station in here and have it for 2 things. One, to hold them down when we do immunizations, give them their vaccines and shots and things. Ain't that right, buddy? And then have a milking station. So I'm going to build one of those this year, research that, build that. The other thing is this is our home base for our sheep, goats, animals, and future Great Pyrenees. Hey. And so this is our home base. What we're going to do is, as you see, these poles here, I've already got the fence laid out going down through here. We're going to fence that in and go down our driveway, fence all this in all the way around here, all the way around till you get over to our orchard over there. And that's the start corner post of our orchard way over there. And it goes all the way around. You can see the orchard. And what we're going to do in that orchard section, that's a, well, it's not really a quadrant, but it's a section we're going to finish fencing in. Corner of that orchard will come with a fence down through here and connect right here to the side of the barn. So with all this fenced in, the perimeter fenced in, we're going to make sections where we have a section over here, let them stay for a time period, and then we'll move them to here, a section, and then this section. That way we can just rotate pastures. That gives things time to grow. It makes it more healthy for them. That'll give me time to plant things, you know, clovers, different grasses and things for them to eat. And it's going to be great. And eventually we're going to get our meat chickens. We're going to start doing that. Get our chicken tractor, get it vamped back up, and start moving chickens out here and putting them in the freezer.
So right now we only have 5 goats. How many you think we're going to try to add this year?
How many do you think, Chester? He said about at least 5, maybe.
5 more. And then we got to figure out the whole keeping them separate and all that stuff. We got a lot to learn.
They love chewing on your clothes. But I'm gonna, hey honey. But I'm gonna, hey. But I'm gonna, sometimes it goes through your clothes and bites you. Chester, that's my button. Stop. So, along with the males, we got to keep them separate, and we may have a female pregnant. I don't know about Annabelle here, but I think Chloe may be pregnant, not sure.
Yeah, she may be, for real.
But that may be an addition of the 5 we need. But I've got to get at least, I want to get 2 or 3 brush goats just to have, because they eat more browse, everything like that, grass, to keep all this weed eating down. But the main thing for the males, we're going to have to keep Chester, and we're going to get another male like Tracy was saying, but I've got to build some, when we rotate pastures, they've got to have a little shelter for the males, because we're going to keep them separate. So I'm gonna have to build some shelters in each little section, or either build a portable one where I can roll it around. Then I don't have to have.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea.
And just because they got to have shelter.
That'd be a really good idea.
What do you think, Annabelle? So I know I keep saying another thing, but another thing we're gonna do.
We got a lot of other things.
This is our barn. This is our storage area, and it has all my tools, some of Tracy's stuff, but we have it for our bee equipment. We have it to store our chicken feed, and it's just not conducive for what we're wanting to do. Our chickens are way over there, and our bees are out there. So what we want to do is we're going to get us another storage building, and we're going to put it and set it out there, out by the bee yard, and move all this stuff. And this will free up more room for me to organize the man cave, which is what this is supposed to be. And I mean, look at this. It's got a tree stand. It's got chainsaw. Everything's just like I can't even.
It's just a mess. So
I can't
disorganized.
keep it organized because there's no room to put everything.
You just got to get some organization. And you can't organize if you don't have the space to organize and do things. So
Right.
Hopefully, one big thing on our list this year is to get that bee house, to get a little building. We're going to call it the honeybee house, and fix it up and keep all of our beekeeping equipment in it. That's a big goal. If we can do that, that would be huge, because then it would just be easier, more functionable
Right.
for us when we're working with the bees. But it'd give you space to get your work area organized and more functional.
Yeah, and like my trailer out here, my double axle trailer, you know, with the sun hitting those tires, it dry rots the tires. And the decking boards on it, everybody knows how expensive wood is. It needs to be covered because it's rusting up, it's out in the weather. You know, I would love to build another extension on this barn, and so I can pull that under in the dry.
But one good thing, we got the barn painted this year. It looks good. We need to get us some kind of sign or something cool to put on this barn. I want to get something really neat. Maybe like a metal sign that says "Just Dig It Farms," or something like that to put on there. I think it'd make it look really neat. And as far as the bees go, right now we have, 6?
They're there. I went over there to check them
8,
out.
9. We have 11 hives. We did have 12, but we lost one. So we've gone into the winter with 11 hives. And we're not going to get in there and check them anytime soon, because we're going down into like 30s and 20s at night, and we don't want to break the seal of their little propolis seal that keeps it warm in the hive. We don't want to disturb them. So, but we're not long on time for them to start swarming and getting really, really active. And I never did paint all that bee equipment. We never did repair and paint all the bee equipment. We got caught up in the wedding stuff and never did get back in there and get that done. So we've got to get that done before they start going crazy. And we got to be ready for that, because when it starts happening, there's no taking time to prep equipment. You got to be ready. But as far as the bees go, we want to keep our hives around 10 to 12. Like right now, that's a lot for us, and we don't want to go no more than that. Really, that's too much probably. But we like having all that honey. We don't want to go We don't want to go more than 12 for sure.
Wow.
So what we've been doing is every year that the bees increase, it's just their natural way that they reproduce, they swarm. You can go in and do all this management to stop it, but we're kind of hands-off beekeepers.
Yeah, and we really don't like the swarming because our neighbor is right there, and the bees go over to his back deck and swarm, and then we get a phone call
And
to come get them.
dormer every year.
They've got up in his dormer, up in this roof in the attic, and it's been a nightmare. There's a bee right there. Hey, you little. But it's we're looking forward to that.
But anyway, we want to keep it down to like 10 to 12 hives. So what we've been doing is whenever we get extra hives and extra bees, we try to give a couple of hives away and set people up in beekeeping that want to become new beekeepers, and kind of mentor them along the way in the beginning. So we've done that every year since we started keeping bees. We've done that. And that's just one way that we keep our hives down to the number we want them to be. So as far as the bees go, I think we're pretty good. We've got the amount of equipment that we need to maintain our 10 to 12 hives. They just need to be painted and repaired. And we could always level up our beekeeping knowledge, because I don't know how you could ever know everything you need to know about beekeeping. It's a little bit complex.
A little buzz to it.
It's a little complex. So that's
Sorry
it
about
for the
the wind.
bees. This is Kiss Me at the Gate. It's actually Lanicera sempervens. I don't know how to say the right way, but I'll spell it and put it at the bottom of the thing for you. But this is also called Kiss Me at the Gate, or winter honeysuckle, and it smells so good. It is January 30th today, and it is blooming.
There's a honeybee. Yeah.
So this is where he's talking about putting the honeybee house, like right in this clearing right here. And then it'll be right here by the beehives. Because as it is right now, we have to go back and forth from there all the way around to the barn when we forget something. And even though it's not that far, it's just when you're out here working in the beehives
At 105 degrees.
with all that suit and all on, it is a bit of a pain to go back and forth to the barn. So it's going to be really nice to have this little honey house here. When we first started the orchard, it was over 5 years ago. It's probably more like 6 years ago. We bought the property, and before we actually ever even moved out here, we built this orchard and started planting our fruit trees. It's been one problem after another, with deer, cows, neighbors' cows getting in here, destroyed everything, had to replant it. Deer, storm. The storm come through and knocked over a bunch of my Asian pears and killed those. It's just been like a nightmare. It just hasn't worked out. And the weed control has just been, like 6 years ago, it wasn't near as hard to lay cardboard and pine straw and hay as it is now.
A little bit younger, a little bit.
It's funny how just 5 or 6 years can make a difference. But
A couple of candles.
yeah, but also, you know, we don't want to spend all our time out here trying to keep these berms weed free. So it just was bigger than what we decided we wanted to do. And another thing is, when we first started the farm, we had great intentions that we were going to be, I wanted to be a truck farmer. I wanted a cute little old turquoise old truck, turn it into a little market farm stand, and sell organic produce. But we tried the CSA last year. We participated in Orville Farmers Market CSA last year, and it was great. I enjoyed it, but it's just not the path for us. It's not what we feel like we need to be doing. We just feel like that's not like the direction that we're supposed to be going. So that was just one of those great ideas and romantic dreams that I tried it, but it's not what we need to do. So anyway, we're just kind of focusing in on what is the right path for us.
What's the right path for us?
When we put this orchard in, we did that with that in mind, to have enough blueberries or enough fruit to sell it. And we just don't need as much fruit as we had planted out here. So we want to just be able to be more self-sufficient, more self-sustainable, to be able to take care of our family and to be able to help others, not necessarily be market farmers or sell produce. So we're kind of downsizing the orchard a little bit. Just a little bit.
Instead of me weed eating, I'm gonna let the goats eat.
Yeah. So what we've decided, and we've started revamping this orchard. So we've dug up all of the blueberries. We had a lot of blueberries, and in fact we actually took 7 or 8 blueberry plants over to Cog Hill. And gave some to them so they could get started on their orchard. We're going to Cog Hill, finally. We've been trying to get there for 2 or 3 weeks now, and we finally got a day worked out where we can go, and it's good for them. So I am coming bearing gifts. I've got blueberries to share with them, some figs, and a couple of other plants that I'm gonna take and see if they want. But Jean and I are going today to help them kind of design and lay out their orchard and just shoot some ideas around together. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun day. I'm excited to go see Jason and Brooke and Mary Carl, and to see their new farm. We haven't seen their new farm, and I'm excited to see it in person. All right, we will see you guys over at Cog Hill.
I love these little wild blueberries. What are these called, Tracy?
Oh yeah, let me show you that. That's the LSU figs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 2 pretty good divisions right there.
Now, do you think that we need to go ahead and put these in the ground now, or will we be safe to wait on our topsoil and put some water?
And then we moved the rest of them, the ones that we wanted to keep, we moved them over to the potager garden.
That's correct.
So we're adding our orchard in with the potager garden. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be like a Garden of Eden. We moved our figs over there, and we've moved the blueberries over there so far. And probably the only other thing that we're going to be moving over there from this will be the pomegranates. Probably that's it.
Was there any goji berries left?
I've already moved those.
Okay.
We did move the goji berries. So we've still got some established fruit trees out here, some pears, stone fruits. All the apples are gone. The deer got all the apples. We're gonna espalier the apples in the potager garden. That's really gonna be pretty. We're gonna make a fence out of that. But as far as the trees that are out here, we're going to leave these. We're gonna leave the berms that we created. We created all these berms out here, and we're going to leave them. And we're going to keep the fruit trees that we've already got out here, because they're pretty established. I mean, they've been out here for 4 to 5 years, 4 to 6 years they've been out here. So we're gonna leave them. And we're gonna add some more fruit trees in the empty spaces. Some of the ones that we lost that we definitely won't.
What have we determined we're going to do with our riverbed rocks? We're going to probably leave some of it.
Probably leave some of it, like you said, to
because
keep
it's gonna continue eroding when it has a storm come through.
Yeah. But this is actually going to become part of our animal rotation.
Yep. Some sheep, some goats, brush goats.
So Gene's redoing the fence a little bit and kind of restructuring it to incorporate it into the other fence and the other goat fence. And this is going to be one of the rotational paddocks. And we're just going to let the animals graze it and keep it clean for us. Hopefully, that's our plan. And when we plant new trees, we'll just put cages around them.
Honeybees.
We'll put, oh, they after you?
They were.
We'll put the cages around them to protect them until they get established. And then, like, I don't know, we got all that to figure out, but that's mostly our plan, is we're incorporating more of the, like, smaller fruits. Like, we've moved our blackberries over there. We got a blackberry video on that. We've moved our blueberries, we've moved our figs, gonna move our pomegranates, our goji berries. Strawberries are being put over there.
We didn't have any more raspberries, did we?
No, all the raspberries died. Raspberries are really, really hard for us to grow here in the South. They do not like our heat and humidity. And I basically wanted to grow the raspberries for the raspberry leaf because it's really good, high medicinal properties. But they need to be in a little bit more shaded area. They need the sun to develop fruit, but they need the shade to make it in our heat and humidity. So, and you won't get a lot of berries here. But like I said, I was growing it for like the leaves. So I'm gonna incorporate some raspberries over there. But I just got to figure out like a more shaded spot. So mostly small fruits are going to the potager, and the larger fruit trees and elderberries, because elderberries are just like, they started over in the corner and now they're just everywhere out here. The birds reseed them, the wind blows them, they colonize, they pop up everywhere. And we want our elderberries. We use elderberries a lot. We want our elderberries, but I don't want them in the potager garden going wild and popping up everywhere. So we want to keep this orchard, but we want to get it to where it's like very low maintenance. Very, very low maintenance. Yes. Mostly the animals are doing the maintenance as far as the weed and grass control. That's our plan for here. I had big, big dreams and visions of this being this incredible food forest.
But I think it's gonna, with the animals in here keeping the weeds under control, I think you're still gonna have quality fruit.
May even have better fruit. Right now we're not having very good fruit.
They may get some of the low-hanging fruit, but we're gonna get the cream of the crop that's up top. Even if I have to get out here with a ladder and get it, but
yeah,
we're gonna have some fruit because we got the bees pollinating them. We're gonna have the animals fertilizing it naturally and keeping it weeded. So I think it's gonna. I think it's still gonna be good.
Yeah, we still want all of our fresh fruit, but it's just can't handle all this maintenance. It's just so much with the orchard, the animals, the potager, it's just so much. And he works a lot of hours, and he's just a weekend farm warrior. So mostly it's me trying to maintain stuff like this, and I can't manage it all and do it well. That's our thing, is we have a lot of different things going on, but we want to hone in on what's really important to us. And do it well. We just really want to do everything excellent and well. Yeah,
the priorities, we're really focusing too on our priorities, personally, spiritually, professionally, for our family, to do what's right, because you can kind of get overwhelmed, and we're trying to really, like I said, we're beating a dead horse, but we're downsizing because looking forward, we want to be able to enjoy and reap the benefits. And this is going to enable us here at Just Dig It Farms to be able to make better quality videos. And this has been kind of one of them things that keep you up or you dread in the weekends, because I was like, oh, we got to go weed the orchard, or we got to go do the hay. I think we died 3 times in 1 year.
I think so.
We'd come out and work 15 minutes, moving hay, 15 minutes. And we would be so hot with about a heat stroke. We'd go in and get something to drink and say, let's go back out. And we'd about kill ourselves. And I'm not doing that no more. It's just
not worth it.
No.
We just got to make things, you know, I don't know, when you're in your 40s, things aren't near as hard as you
40s?
When we did this. When you're in your 40s, it's not near as hard as when you're in your 50s, and we're thinking about what's it going to be like when we're in our 60s. And we don't want this farm to be something that has become work and we don't enjoy it, and we're dreading things.
Yes.
You know, this is our dream, and we want to enjoy, to continue enjoying what we're doing. So we're just trying to get things more manageable and prioritize. Kind
of like you need to get Jason to teach you how to say that.
What's important to us, and do it well.
That's right.
Well, y'all, this has ended up being another 2-part video because it's so long. So I'm dividing it up into 2 parts. And if you'll stay tuned, next video will be all about the potager garden goals. What we've got planned for this potager for the next year. But thanks for hanging out with me and Jean today and walking around the farm with us and going over goals and plans and dreams that we're going to try to accomplish this year. God bless you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video.